What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is a penguin. Spider monkeys, because they're adorable.
Favorite animal? Oh, wow, that's a great question. I love squirrels. Red, grey, black, I don't mind, but they're cute.
So now that we know the three types of squirrels that we're talking about, what do they eat? Well, a squirrel is an herbivore. 9 times out of 10, he's eating fruits, veg, nuts. They'll be stealing our pecans, our walnuts, some of our soft fruit, and even some of our vegetables out of our vegetable garden.
Here's the deal. Whenever you plant food, things come to eat it. And oftentimes we want to be the ones who eat it, but sometimes there are other things that come to eat whenever we plant that food, right?
We've just been looking at grey squirrel damage, but what about their control? Well, the first point is it's not a new problem. Indeed, as we've mentioned, it was being declared a pest since the 1930s. In the 1950s, some may remember that one could get a shilling for every squirrel tail that was given into a Ministry of Agriculture office. But what about today? How can they be controlled? There are 3 ways. Certainly in winter time you can poke the drays, those are the nests that the squirrels build high up in a tree, and the squirrels will come out, and if you've got a shotgun they can be shot. Well, you can trap them on the ground with a cage trap, you set a bait, then you have to kill the animal once it's trapped. By law you must visit the trap every day, and once the squirrel is there you're not allowed to re-release it elsewhere in the countryside, and so one has to dispose of it there and then in a humane fashion.
This is a standard CO2 tank that you can buy at a air gas supply, welding supply store with a regulator to regulate the flow of gas through this hose into your euthanasia chamber. You just need something that will accommodate the trap that the animal's in, because that's what we want you to do, is put the whole trap with the animal in the container, close the lid, and then slowly flow in the carbon dioxide. And
Squirrels are everybody's worst enemy in the garden because they take your peaches, your plums, your apples, your pears.
We've had a long storied battle with our squirrels in this area. We live in the woods. Squirrels surround us. There are nut trees everywhere. And when tomato season comes about, the squirrels just go crazy. It's like they're just waiting for that all-you-can-eat tomato buffet to happen. And a couple years in a row, we've had just pretty serious decimation of our tomato crop.
I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to keep the squirrels out of your garden.
And I think somebody has been here trying to get into my plants, and I think it's a squirrel. We have a lot of squirrels here in the Tidewater garden. You can see, I'll pan up a little bit, we've really got a lot of woods around, and so the squirrels just love to come into the garden.
Squirrels is obviously fun, but you know what isn't fun? When you've got pests in your garden and you just don't know how to get rid of them. So you've done all this work and you planted all these gorgeous flowers, and you know the little squirrels come around and they eat it all or dig it all up.
Yeah, so squirrels, garden centers employ them. We send them out to eat all your plants so that you actually buy a lot more bulbs.
Right, it's working.
So, but just let's look how cute a squirrel is. Let's take a picture.
So
you know,
cute,
look at this picture.
they?
You know,
we're having a squirrel infestation in our yard. It's early June. They're everywhere. Eli and I came out here this morning and counted 28 of them in my vegetable garden. They're eating my tomatoes, cucumbers, plums, blueberries. They're destroying my vegetable garden. So,
if your local squirrels are sampling all of your tomatoes and you're really tired of that, here's an idea for keeping them out of your tomato patch.
These are what the squirrels do to your community garden.
He's a big boy. Look at the size of that guy. They just pull it off. He's going to run over to his little tree, find a safe spot, and eat it. Go pursue him. They just pillage our gardens.
I'm at Garden Fever with Lori, and Lori, you have this great story to tell us about some of your damaged plants.
Well, it's squirrel nesting season.
Oh no.
And this
So I've been noticing a bunch of chipmunks and squirrels. They've been eating the leaves off some of my plants, and I know this because I've watched them, and they've been digging through dirt.
I want to show y'all what happened with those dang squirrels. Take a look at my corn. Full cobs. They have completely ate every single cob of corn.
The aim is to disturb the squirrel's dray by using a long pole. Any squirrels that emerge are swiftly dispatched by the waiting guns.
So she would like to know what to do to keep squirrels from eating her tomatoes. Don't we all want to know how to keep the squirrels away from eating our tomatoes, Miss Davy? Don't we all want to know that? All right, Mr. V. He's shaking his head. Uh-oh.
12-year-old with a 20-gauge shotgun. That's all I can say. University of Tennessee has a very, very nice publication, top of page 12. Without question, shooting is the most effective method of eliminating troublesome squirrels when local regulations or game laws permit.
Oh boy.
Now, you know, with that being said, you might try naphthalene, mothballs, moth crystals, scatter them around. That might give you some temporary relief.
Temporary
relief.
Man.
Shooting is more permanent. Shooting is more permanent.
Why do people call you the goat? Do they? Do they call me the goat?
I'm going to put some words on the screen right now to let you guys know, as the viewers, what